Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball, but first I'll give you a quick summary of today's live update. So we've got this new AC Milan 125th anniversary campaign, and just look at all the things we'll get from this campaign. We're going to get some pictures, some more pictures, and some more pictures. So that's great. There's also this new AC Milan Legend pack, so this is basically another Baresi pack. And this time you get the same Baresi, but he's got Fortress, and some of his numbers are slightly higher than they were last time. How exciting. Of course, there's Player of the Week. We'll look at that in a bit. We've got a couple of national team player packs, whatever you call them. So we've got one European and one worldwide. I'll do separate videos reviewing those over the coming days. Got this Showtime nonsense to come out Monday. That's about it. So let's have a quick look at events and see what's new in there. So online, we've got Golden Goal, looks like Tsubasa Golden Goal, cool. Apart from that, the usual stuff, not a lot going on, as usual. Versus AI, we've got Beat the Clock Volume 2, Tsubasa style, that's cool. Then we've got this new AC Milan Legends challenge, so you get to play against a team of AC Milan Legends. And our rewards are a bunch of pictures, yay. But if that's not exciting enough for you, we've got this Consadole Sapporo event, which presumably is to celebrate the fact they've just been relegated. And your rewards from this, wait for it. First challenge, an EXP trainer. Second challenge, another EXP trainer. Can't wait to do that one. And that's pretty much it. The rest is the usual stuff. So that's pretty much everything in the live update. There's no new packs, nothing in the point store. So we'll just go straight to Player of the Week. So as always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if you want to hear about a particular player in this pack, just click the description, there'll be a link that will take you straight to them. 11 players in here, we've got one 4-star, it's our goalie, let's start with him. So this is our first feature version of Donovan Léon, plays for Auxerre in the Liga, he's got a face scan. He's a defensive goalkeeper, the only real change they've made, they've added low punt, I think he's got it on his GP card, so we've got low and high punt there. And honestly, he's a pretty decent keeper. The awareness, reflexes, and reach all going past 90 with the game plan boost. Catching and praying a little bit dodgy though, so obviously he's only 4-star keeper, so it's not going to be brilliant. But to be fair, for a 4-star, he looks pretty good. I'm surprised he's only a 4-star actually. Those attributes to me look like a 5-star keeper, but yeah, 6'1", pretty average height. He's not short, but he's not the tallest keeper either, but he does have good reach. Obviously he can't jump because he's a Player of the Week goalkeeper, but with the awareness, reflex, and reach being as high as they are, yes, the catching and praying aren't great. This isn't a top level keeper by any means, but for a 4-star keeper, he's great. And I think on the whole, if you just ignore the star rating, I think this is a pretty usable goalkeeper. Distribution sucks, but it doesn't a lot of keepers. So yeah, not a brilliant goalkeeper, but certainly I think a very usable one. And I think for a 4-star, he's great. And next we have Gustav Isaksen from Lazio. So Isaksen's got his usual positions, but his registered position has been changed from right wing forward to right midfield. And his playing style has been changed from prolific winger to hole player. So usually as a prolific winger, that would be an active playing style only as a wide forward, not as a right midfielder. And he's been switched to a playing style hole player, which is going to be active at right midfield, but not as a wide forward. So if you prefer using wide forwards, you don't use wide midfielders, that might be great for you. Conversely, if you prefer wide midfielders, that might be really good news for you. But he is now a hole player, and like I said, he will be active only as a right midfielder, not his other two positions, but you can of course still play him in those positions. They've got him down as right foot. I thought he was left footed. I might be wrong on that. Certainly his goal was a left footer. It was a very nice goal as well, as you can see him scoring it in this picture. He does not have a face scan yet, but Lazio are licensed. I imagine it won't be long before he gets one. Very two-footed. And he's a reasonably tidy card. There's been a Player of the Week version of him recently in Champions League Player of the Week pack. This one's slightly better. The main difference is he's got quite a bit more kicking power, stamina, and ball control. Outside of that, most of the attributes are fairly similar, to be honest. There was a trainable version in a Legend or Showtime pack. I don't remember exactly when that was. Goes to a similar level though, and that is trainable, so you might prefer that one. Not a lot of difference. Comparing to his GP card, lost a few points off dexterity. They always seem to do it with attacking players, so acceleration, balance, attacking awareness down a little bit from his GP card on auto allocation. But we've got more end product, and they boosted his physical strength as well, his kicking power and stamina. So yeah, decent boost on the whole. It's a decent version of Isaksen. Skill-wise, as far as I can see, I don't know if eFootball holds 100% right now. It looks like it is, but it looks like we've just lost dipping shot and they've replaced it with long-range shooting. good trade for me. Dipping shots just going to alter the trajectory of your shots, really. Long range shooting will improve the accuracy of them, so I think that's a good trade. A few skill moves there, soul control, a nice one to have. Then we've got long range curler, rising shot, long range shooting, accurate finishing, good set of shooting skills on him. And he's got through passing, and he's a super sub as well. So yeah, he's got a bit of pace about him. Reasonable kicking power. I'd like a bit more balance. Could be worse, I guess. Like I say, they have slightly nerfed that, annoyingly. He's decent on the ball, but could be better. Not brilliant at passing. He does have through passing, but be careful with his passing. Don't ask too much from him, because we all know how bad passing is in this game, and he's not great at it. Finishing though, that's going to hit 80 with the maximum game plan boost. Attacking wise, I'd like a bit more, especially on the whole player. So yeah, on the whole, he's a decent card. He's a super sub as well. Certainly one who you could bring on as a sub, and he could do something for you off that right wing. I don't think it's a bad card, but I don't think it's a brilliant one either. Like I say, balance, attacking awareness, passing. I'd like a bit more on some of these attributes. Decent snatcher skills on. Like I say, he's a super sub, so it could be used one to have, maybe just for the Italian League change. Certainly not a bad card, but it's not a brilliant one either. And next up is MLS champion Maya Yoshida. So we have had a couple of versions of Yoshida in the past. He's always been a build-up before they changed him to a destroyer. Obviously got his face scan. He previously had a World Cup Player of the Week card that was quite similar to this one overall, but that card was a bit weaker defensively, but it was better down the left with some of the technicals. So he probably had a profile that was better suited to the build-up playing style, to be honest, whereas the profile on this one, I would say, suits the destroyer playing style a bit better, but pretty similar on the whole. The other version we've had of him, feature version, was also pretty similar on the whole. That was in a Japan pack. That was ages ago. That was about, I would guess, about 2.5 years ago at least now. It was the one that had that Legend Junior Ito card in it. I got that pack. I've still got the Ito card and the Yoshida card. And like I say, it was similar to this one. One thing to note is that the previous versions of Yoshida, featured ones, both have unwavering form. At some point they changed him to standard, so there is a slight downgrade there. And comparing him to his GP card, they've nerfed his defensive engagement a bit. They often do that with centre-backs, quite annoying, but he's had a nice boost down the right column, which is where they seem to boost centre-backs in these Player of the Week packs these days. Put a few points in his technicals as well. Skill-wise, looks like they've just thrown in acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle, I think. Looks like those two in use, so got a pretty complete set of skills for a centre-back, I think. I don't see anything missing there. So you've got good selection of skills, pretty solid on the whole. Not an amazing card though. Only 92 rated, so he's barely made it into the 5-star category. Yes, the awareness is great, tackling is good, that's hitting 90 with the game plan boost. Aggression mid-80s, defensive engagement mid-80s. A lot of people would prefer those to be a bit higher. Down the left, not terrible, but could be a bit better. Pace, yeah, pretty average. Area on physical, I'd like to be a bit higher, to be honest, on the centre-back. So there are a few attributes that I'd like to be a bit higher, but there's nothing terribly low. And he's got a good selection of skills. So again, it might not be a brilliant card, but certainly could be used for one. It's a shame we don't get an MLS challenge. So I think, to be honest, unless you're new to the game, I think you probably need to be someone who uses the Japan squad and the national team challenge to really get any value out of this guy. I know quite a few people do that. But yeah, it's not a bad card at all. It's just not a brilliant one. And the fact that we don't get an MLS challenge, I think it's probably not that many people are going to use out of this guy, but it's certainly not a bad card, and some people might find him quite useful. And next we have a deep lying forward, Stephan El Shaarawy. So they made him a deep lying forward. He's normally a prolific winger, and he's now a centre forward. They've added that as a pretty proficient position. Still got his face scan, which is ancient, with his pretty impressive hair. And this is an interesting card. So like I say, they've made him a centre forward now, so he's got a different kind of profile to what he normally has. Can't really compare him directly to his GP card. It is a better version of him, of course. We've had 3 previous trainable versions of El Shaarawy. One quite a while back was in one of those derby packs from Rome Lazio derby. Wasn't so great, but we've had a couple of others that go to a similar level to this one. One from a kind of legend or Showtime pack. One was a nominate contract one from, I think, a club icons pack. Like I say, both pretty similar. If you go with the auto allocation, bit better on the ball, but this one's got more awareness, a bit more end product, as you would expect from a kind of centre forward build, and a bit more physically as well. So it's an interesting build of El Shaarawy. We'll just quickly look at the skills. It looks like we've lost Marseille turn and Sombrero, and they've given him, I think, through passing and pinpoint crossing and new. And he's a super sub already. With heel trick and outside curler, nice ones to have. Long range curler and long range shooting, soul control. So yeah, we've got a nice section of skills here. It's a question of where you're going to use him. He doesn't have first time shot. Are you going to use him as an out and out centre forward? I'm not so sure. Awareness 85 is a bit iffy. Finishing 83 is certainly iffy for a centre forward. Might be better as an SS with the deep line forward playing style being active there. To be honest, this looks like one of these cards where I don't think he's going to be amazing in any position. You know, their pace is decent but not amazing. On the ball, decent but not amazing. I think for a wide man, his passing and finishing and the attacking ones are pretty good. But like I say, on the ball and pace aren't amazing. And then when you put him through the middle, as an out-and-out centre forward, awareness and finishing iffy, SS, I'm just not sure he's that amazing. But I think he could be decent in any of these positions because, like I say, even if he's not amazing anywhere, he does have a decent amount of pace. He is decent on the ball. The passing, SS or centre forward, pretty decent. Finishing, yeah, I think he could be useful. I'm just struggling to see him being particularly great in any position. But he does have a good section of skills, though. He's got some shooting and passing. He is a super sub. Yeah, again, but for the Italian League Challenge, if you're looking at this guy and thinking he's not going to really improve my team, for the Italian League Challenge, he could be a decent option because I think he could do a job wide left as an inverted winger. They've given him pinpoint crossing now, 80 lofted pass. He's not got an amazing cross, but he can put a cross in. So even on the right, it could be useful. And like I say, through the middle, I wouldn't personally use him as an out-and-out centre forward, but that deep line forward playing style, who will be dropping deep and getting involved in the build-up. He won't be darting in behind the defence all the time like a goal poacher would. So maybe his profile could work for that position, even without first-time shot, but certainly as an SS. I'll personally say that's probably his best position. Fairly tidy on the ball, a bit of end product with his passing and shooting. Just kind of a well-balanced build, really. So like I say, left, right, or through the centre could be useful. I don't think he's amazing in any position, but a good selection of skills there. And especially for that Italian League Challenge, it could be a fairly useful card to have if you get it. And also from Serie A, we now have Mkhitaryan with the box-to-box playing style. So Mkhitaryan is usually a creative playmaker. He is now box-to-box. We had a previous whole player of the week card. That was went to a similar level to this one. Some of the attributes kind of shuffled around a little bit. I just noticed as well, they've made him a centre midfielder. They've also made him semi-proficient at defensive midfield, even though you can't position train these cards. They've done that quite a few times lately. The best trainable versions of Mkhitaryan go to a similar level as well. Obviously, they are trainable. There have been a few from sort of Legend and Showtime packs. But yeah, this is a decent version of him. It's an interesting one. You look at his GP card in comparison, if you were to allocate his GP card. He's a bit worse in the ball this time, but passing's up a bit, kicking power's up a bit. Even before the boost, this is a booster card. As you can see, I'll do the booster in a second. His physical contact's been boosted. His defensives have been boosted quite a bit, especially his awareness and tackling. A big boost on his defensives. That makes sense if they made him a centre mid, so he's playing a bit deeper than he normally does. If we look at the skills, they've taken away flip flap, I think chip shot control, gamesmanship as well, and what they've added, soul control, nice one. Low lofted pass I think is new, and interception. So again, as a centre midfielder, that makes sense. And that's a pretty good trade, I think, skill-wise. So we've got one touch pass and through passing, and interception, some of the most important ones for a centre mid. And we've got a few bonuses on top. Soul control's a nice one to have. Heel trick and outside curler, definitely nice ones to have. First time shot when he gets forward. So yeah, let's activate the boost. So how good is he when he gets the A-form boost? Okay, so it's passing. It's literally the passing booster. So his passing is fantastic. So with your maximum game plan boost, this guy, when he's on A-form, is going to be 90 plus for low and lofted pass. He's got plenty of curl on as well. That can help with your passing. Kicking power over 90 with your game plan boost. Again, that's one that a lot of people maybe don't pay too much attention to, but that does make a difference with passing and shooting. So this is an interesting build on Mkhitaryan. For me personally, yes, they've given him a pretty big boost on his defensives, but he's still not good at defending. He's not that strong physically. Yes, they've given him interception. You could get away with him as a centre mid. You'd need someone very strong defensively behind him, maybe a couple of midfielders behind him doing the defensive work. But if you're going to do that, I would always say with a midfielder like this, you might as well just push him forward as an attack midfielder. With the ability he's got, not great defensively, but he's good on the ball. He's got really good passing. With the skills he's got with his passing and first time shot as well, when he gets forward, he's going to be pretty handy getting forward, attacking when it's going past H with the game plan boost as well. He's got a little bit of pace about him. He's not the quickest, obviously, but certainly playing through the middle, that pace is fine. And the kicking power, would like a bit more balance on him. With that box-to-box playing style, though, just keep in mind, whereas he's normally a creative playmaker, and that playing style, creative playmaker, will be active in all his other positions except for centre midfield. It's now the other way around. Box-to-box will be active at centre midfield. It won't be active. In fact, it will be active left mid and right mid. I almost forgot that. So box to box will be active left mid, centre mid and right mid. If you're playing with an attacking mid or an SS or as a wide forward, he will not have an active playing style. If you have an issue with that, obviously that's up to you. But for me personally, it doesn't make a difference. I think I'll be fine with the attacking when it's being what it is. I think he'll make enough attacking runs. He'll be good in those positions. I think his profile suits him pretty well as an attacking mid or an SS, playing as that kind of number 10 behind the attack. So with the skills he's got and the profile he's got, I think as a kind of number 10, this is a really nice looking Mkhitaryan card. Could be very useful as a centre mid. Depends how you play. If you've got one or two midfielders doing the defensive work behind him, obviously getting him on the ball, using him as a playmaker, even though he doesn't have that playing style, could be very effective. But I don't want to play with this profile, tracking back and dropping too deep and helping with the defending. I want him staying forward. So I don't think the playing style suits him, even with his profile, with the way they boosted him. But ultimately, it's a similar level to the better versions of Mkhitaryan we've had previously. So it is one of the better versions of Mkhitaryan we've had. It's a slightly different build. And however you use him, not sure he's got the pace to play out wide. Not sure he's good enough defensively to play centre mid. But it depends how you want to use him. You've got a bunch of ways you could use him. I think certainly through the middle as a number 10 behind the attack. Could be very effective with the skills and with the profile, especially on A form. So yeah, it's a good version of Mkhitaryan and it's a pretty good card on the whole. And now we have Nikola Milenković, who is normally an extra front man and now a destroyer. So if you prefer that playing style, that'd be good news for you. I prefer it. I like a build up best, but I don't mind having one destroyer in defense. I'm not a fan of the extra front man playing style. Of course, he's got his face scan. He's a big dude, Milenković, about 6'5", I make that roughly. So we've got a big, tall, and physically strong centre back. We've had a Player of the Week version of Milenković in the past from one of those international weeks when he played for Serbia. He was a bit better on the left column, that card, but nowhere near as good defensively. So yeah, slightly different version of Milenković, maybe better suited to his extra frontman playing style, similar to the situation with Yoshida with his World Cup Player of the Week card. But I prefer this one certainly as an out-and-out centre-back. There was a nominating contract one, I think, again, it was El Shaarawy had a previous Club Icons nominating contract card. I think Milenković did as well. It looks like one of those nominating contract Club Icons packs that it was from. You can make that one a bit better defensively, but not quite as good overall. The overall only goes up to one lower than this one, fully boosted. But of course, it's trainable. So this is a pretty good looking version of Milenković on the whole. In fact, there's a couple more I can see. There's one from a legend pack, I think, pretty similar overall. Again, trainable, you can shuffle that one around. And one from a Serie A pack, Italian League pack, which looks like it was slightly better than this one. So yeah, okay, so a pretty good version of Milenković, but not the best version we've had. And the previous ones, they've got unwavering form as well. So this one only on standard form, that's a bit of a downer. If you compare him to his GP card, defenses have been shuffled a bit. I would say they're a bit worse overall than his GP card on auto allocation. But again, with these Player of the Week centre backs, boosted down the right column. So pace, stamina, jumping. Yeah, athletically better, just not better defensively. But looking at it in isolation, fairly strong defensively. Down the right, certainly with the physical and aerial strength. And very good stamina for a centre back. Yeah, he's pretty solid. I think similar to Yoshida, to be honest. He's a solid centre back, same playing style. Just not an amazing one. If you look at the skills, they have made a big addition here. They've added interception. He doesn't normally have that. So that's a big addition with the skills. So we've got heading and aerial superiority. He's going to be good in the air. 195 centimetres, so he's about 6'5". His jumping's going to hit 90 when he's fully boosted in the game plan, and he's got aerial superiority. This guy's going to be very strong in the air. And then on the ground, man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle. Frightening spirit is a good one to have on a centre-back, on most players, to be honest. I think the only one he's really missing skill-wise is acrobatic clearance, but I think he can live without that. Good searching skills, decent down the middle with his core defensives, physically and aerially very strong. Yeah, I think similar to Yoshida, to be honest. It's a card where most of us probably have better options, but whereas Yoshida, we don't get the MLS challenge. We do get it, well, some of us get the English League challenge. So if you get the English League challenge, could be worth keeping hold of for that, even if he doesn't improve your main squad. And on the whole, not an amazing centre-back, but the profile might suit you better than his normal profile does with the new playing style destroyer. And even though it's not an amazing card, it's a pretty solid one. I think certainly for a lot of people, it could be a useful card to have. And now we have Marten de Roon from Atalanta, who is now an orchestrator. So his GP card, I think, is an anchorman. He used to be a box-to-box, so he's had a few playing styles. He's now an orchestrator with this card, though. He's not always had centre-back as a fully proficient position. That, I think, is quite recent, although I'm not sure he really is a centre-back based on this card, and certainly in real life, especially after watching him against Real Madrid the other night. But yeah, he's been playing there at times for Atalanta. He's got that position now, but this is a DMF card. With those defensives, I would not play him as a centre-back. The awareness is nowhere near high enough. But it looks like a reasonable defensive midfielder, though. Looking at previous versions, I've had a couple from Legend or Showtime packs that are slightly better than this one. So it certainly doesn't look like it's the best version of their own that we've had. There was a free one from when Atalanta won the Europa League at the end of last season. Pretty similar on the whole, to be honest. I'm not sure it's quite as good as this one, but it is trainable. So if you got that one, you probably don't need this one. But again, maybe the play style would sway you. Comparing to his GP card on auto allocation, a bit worse defensively, but a bit better on the ball. Physicals and dexterity as well, boosted slightly. So slightly different version, a bit more well-rounded, a bit more of a kind of balanced build. Skill-wise, they've added pinpoint crossing, looks new, and I think blockers new as well. So we've got one-touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, load off the pass. He's got some good passing skills there, and then defensively, track back, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, capacity, fighting spirit. Pretty good selection of skills on the DMF, to be honest, on a deep line playmaker. An orchestrator, if you play him at DMF, he's going to kind of hang back and just kind of, he'll get forward a bit more than Anchorman would, but he won't get forward as much as a box-to-box or even a destroyer, to be honest. He'll kind of just sit back and be a deep line playmaker. And that playing style will also be active as centre midfielder. So again, likewise, he won't get forward as much as other players with other playing styles would, which might be frustrating for you. It just depends on what suits you. But yeah, like I say, on the whole, he doesn't look an amazing card, but he does look decent. You know, defensively he's fairly strong. On the ball, he's reasonably tidy. He's had a nice boost on the ball. Passing, he's got some good passing skills, but 83 low pass, that's not high enough for me. Mid 80s minimum for me. I like to have at least 85. With that, when they get to 85, it goes +3 with a maximum game plan boost. So it will be 88 fully boosted in the game plan. 83 is going to end up at 85, and that's just a little bit low for me. So he's kind of just about okay-ish down the left, decent down the middle, not particularly quick. Decent physical strength, not great balance. Stamina's good. So we've got some qualities there. We've got a good selection of skills, but for me, as a deep line playmaker, that orchestrated playing style, I don't think he's quite good enough technically for me. As an out-and-out defensive bid, when you're going to focus on his defensive ability, decent, but not amazing. So again, you know, is he one worth keeping hold of to see a talent league challenge? Maybes. I don't think he's going to improve a lot of people's squads as he is. Just looking at him in isolation, just looking at him, you know, objectively, I think he's a solid enough card, but he's just not amazing. And like I say, it's hard to see him improving a lot of people's squads. Got his face cam before I forget, but yeah, unwavering form. Some decent attributes there, good selection of skills. So for quite a few people, it could be a decent one, could be a very usable centre mid or defensive mid. Don't think he's a great centre back, but yeah, whether it's just for the Italian League challenge or even if you just like him in general, it could be a decent card. But again, it's just not one that I personally find particularly exciting. And next we have Booster Jadon Sancho. Interesting. So this is the second version of Jadon Sancho since he joined Chelsea. There's one trainable one. Before the boost gets activated, it's one of the better versions of Sancho. We've had a fair number of them, of versions of him, most of them from when he was at Man U. Probably the best ones, I think, the one from a Man U pack and the recent Chelsea one. Both of those are pretty similar to this one overall, but obviously they're trainable. But when you activate the boost on this one, I think this is probably the best version of Sancho we've had. What's that? Ball carrying, is it? Yeah, ball carrying. So pace, balance, on the ball, finishing. I would like a bit more on his passing, but honestly, on the whole, this is a very nice looking card. Inconsistent form is a bit of a downer, unfortunately, but when he gets A form, obviously that doesn't matter. And when he gets A form and he gets this boost, yeah, like I say, this is looking like a pretty tidy card. Compared to his GP card, speed's been boosted, kicking power's been boosted, finishing as well. Lost a bit of dexterity and a bit on the ball as well, but with that booster activated, on the ball attributes and balance are almost as good as his GP card on auto allocation, which is amazing. But yeah, just to look at it in isolation, this is a good version of Sancho on the whole. Let's have a look at his skills quickly. So I think all they've done is they've taken away scissors, feint, and given him long range shooting. I don't see any other differences there. So a few skill moves there, of course, with Sancho. I think the dribbles are like this guy. He's got the combination for the ball roll, double touch, long range curler and long range shooting, excellent. Heel trick, handy one to have, an outside curler. One touch pass, pinpoint crossing. The only one he's really missing is through passing. So a bit of a shame he's not got through passing, but with the skills he does have with his shooting, one touch pass and pinpoint crossing, I mean, pinpoint crossing with 74 lofted, he's not going to have a good cross on him. So I don't think I'll be playing him on the right, but as an inverted ring on the left-hand side, right footer coming inside with long range curl and long range shooting, 80 finishing, 80 curl, 83 kicking power before your game plan boost. He's certainly gonna be capable of finishing for you and scoring goals for you. The attacking race is going over 80 with your game plan boost. Tidy on the ball, quick, good balance. It's a good card. This is not an amazing one. It's not one I think that I'll be throwing coins at to try and get. But he does look like a pretty good one. It's one of the better cards that I think we're going to have in this pack. Prolific wing will be active, wide forward, not wide midfield, but of course you can still play in wide midfield. Like I say, I think inverted ring on the left is where you'd want to put him. And it's a good card, this. I think he's got a bit of end product. He's going to feel pretty nice on the ball. He's got pace. I think he'll be a very effective one to have on that left-hand side. So yeah, like I say, it's probably one of the better cards in this pack. And I think a lot of people will find this to be a pretty nice card if they get him. Now we have another version of Griezmann. We've had plenty of versions of Griezmann in the game. This is a booster version. So, goal poacher. Griezmann has had a bunch of playing styles on the various cards he's had. He's had deep line forward, he's had whole player, he's probably had 1 or 2 other ones as well. I'm not sure he's been a goal poacher before. The best versions of Griezmann that we've had are the legend card that was in the France pack quite recently, and there's been a Showtime one as well, but honestly, this is otherwise one of the better versions of Griezmann. It depends on what kind of profile you want and then what position you're going to play him in, because obviously you look at the attributes. The passing is amazing, so if you like Griezmann as an attacking midfielder, for example, this probably won't be the version of Griezmann for you, but if you like Griezmann being either up front or at least just off the attack, with the awareness and finishing they're giving him this time, goal poacher playing style, certainly as a centre forward, this could be a really nice version of him to have. So, like I say, it is a booster. Let's activate the booster straight away. So, what's that? Shooting? Striker's instinct, close enough. So, before your game plan boost, 91 attacking awareness, 90 finishing, 90 ball control. This is a very interesting looking version of Griezmann. He's not quite got the pace I'd like on a goal poacher, so for me, I'm not sure it'd be ideal as a centre forward. If you don't mind a slight lack of pace on a goal poacher centre forward, then that might not bother you. You might think this is a fantastic card. It does look very nice. I would like a bit more balance on him. Yes, he's going past 80 with the game plan boost, but I like the balance to be at least in the mid 80s. But apart from that, though, kicking power's all right. And like I say, on the ball, certainly with the ball control, he's going to be very comfortable in possession of the ball. The passing there, as an AMF, not high enough, but any other position, especially with, I assume, yeah, he's got one-touch passing through passing, so he's got decent enough passing for a forward. A first-time shot, is that new? I'm not sure it is. No, what have they done? They've taken, I think, Sombrero and taken chip shot control. That's a bit of a shame, but chip shots are pretty erratic in this game, to put it politely. What they've added. Also, one-touch pass is new. And outside curler. Nice, that's a nice addition. So, yeah, pretty good station skills. So you've got the skills to play him as a centre forward for sure. You've got first time shot, you've got acrobatic finishing, you've got the passing as well though. Outside curl is a nice bonus, and hill trick, 2 nice ones to have. So I think this guy as a centre forward or an SS, you won't have an active playing style SS. Goal poacher is not active SS. Likewise, wide left or wide right, goal poacher won't be an active playing style, and I'm not sure he's got the pace to play out wide anyways. You could use him out wide right, certainly, if you don't mind the slight lack of pace, but I think through the middle, striker or SS, it could be very interesting with the awareness and the finishing. I'm not sure whether he's best as an SS or a striker, to be honest. I think slight lack of pace maybe holds him back as centre forward. As an SS, has he got the passing ability? Maybe. I think SS is where I'd personally use him. I think as an SS, he looks very interesting. Unwavering form, of course, for Griezmann. So yeah, he's got a good selection of skills, and it just depends on the profile. It's not the best version of Griezmann we've had, but I think it is one of the best ones, certainly. It just depends, do you want that playing style? Are you going to use him as a striker? Do you like to use him out wide, attacking mid? It might not be the version of Griezmann for you, but if you want a version of Griezmann to play either in or around the attack, getting into good positions to score goals for you, and having that passing ability as well, being very comfortable on the ball with the awareness he's got, the finishing he's got, certainly on A form, this could be a really, really nice version of Griezmann to pick up. Oh, before I forget, they boosted his weaker foot accuracy slightly. There you go, before someone else points it out. JS. And speaking of goal poachers, we have goal poacher Jamal Musiala. We've not seen a goal poacher version of Musiala before, or a centre forward version. That is very interesting. So, it's hard to compare this Musiala to previous versions because, like I say, he's not been a centre forward before. Obviously, he can play his normal positions. If you look at previous Player of the Week versus Musiala, he's not. I mean, he's pretty similar, to be honest, as a winger. He's still quite comparable to previous versions of him. Previous the Player of the Week versions, a bit better on the ball, and obviously the trainable ones as well. But he's got quite a bit more speed than he often does, and attacking awareness as well. Good finishing. Doesn't always have finishing that good. So yeah, as a winger, certainly comparable to previous versions, but as a centre forward, it's the only one. It's the only one. There might be some that you could position train as a centre forward previously, but I don't think you'd be able to get the awareness and finishing up high enough really, and make him as good overall as this one. It's a very interesting version of Musiala, this. Looking at his GP card, you can try and train his GP card as a striker, but in terms of the attributes, but I don't think you can position train him as a striker because he's not got even semi-proficient. And the finishing especially is way better. So yeah, it's quite a unique version of Musiala. It's hard to compare it to previous versions. You can still use him wide left. He's got the pace, he's got the ability on the ball, very decent passing, got the finishing and the awareness, balance. But now he can use him as a striker as well. So I think this is just a really good and very useful version of Musiala. If you look at the skills, he's got first time shot. Okay, so first time shot. This is a very decent looking goal poacher version of Musiala. I'm just trying to look. I'm looking at the attributes and the skills, thinking where is he best. Like with Griezmann, I'm just not entirely sure. First time shot, long range goal, long range shooting. He's got the shooting skills, one touch pass. As is usually the case with Musiala, he doesn't have through passing. So yeah, 84 is kind of just about borderline for low pass. I'd like it to be a bit higher in that kind of attacking midfield kind of area, but without through passing, that kind of kills it. So for me, centre mid and attacking mid are out of the question. As an SS, could be really nice. I would like through passing as an SS, but you can live without it. If you focus more on his ability, his dribbling ability and his ability to score goals for you as an SS could be very nice. Wide left, like I say, pace on the ball, decent balance, bit of passing and finishing, certainly with the shooting skills. I think wide left he could be really nice still, even if you can't make him quite as good on the ball. Well, I mean, he's not as good on the ball. Obviously, you can't train these cards. So previous cards can be better on the ball. So in that regard, maybe he's not as good as a left winger as previous ones, but can still do that job pretty well. As a goal poacher centre forward, though, we've got the shooting skills, pace, yeah, on the ball, fantastic for a centre forward. Passing, good for a centre forward. It's going to come down to the awareness and the finishing, really. Mid 80s before your game plan boost. You're going to end up 86 awareness, 88 finishing with the maximum game plan boost. Is that good enough for you on a centre forward? For me, it's a bit iffy, certainly the awareness. But I think you can get away with it because when you look at all the other attributes and how good he is elsewhere, he does make up for it. This is a really interesting version of Musiala, very unique. Obviously, he's got his face scan there. I wonder if he deserves unwavering form, to be honest, at this point. Maybe he does, but and he's a super sub as he always is. So yeah, super sub with pace, a lot of technical ability. I should say pace twice. He can pass, he can shoot. It's hard to know if he's really best as a striker or if he's best playing kind of just off the attack. But I think you've got a Musiala card here that's quite unique. It's obviously a very, very good card. And you've got a bunch of ways you could use him. If the attributes suit you, if you think the awareness and finishing are high enough, this could be an absolutely fantastic goal poacher centre forward for you. Otherwise, you could still certainly do a job in behind the attack centrally or coming off that left wing. So yes, some previous versions of him might be better in one or two areas, but this is the first centre forward version we've had of him. We've never had a goal poacher version. And like I say, if the profile works for you as a goal poacher centre forward, it could be an absolutely fantastic card to pick up. It's clearly a very good version of Musiala, and it's a pretty unique one as well. So yeah, for a lot of people, this card could be very interesting. And lastly, we have Arda Güler, whole player. Interesting. So normally a classic number 10. I've said before, I don't think he's going to keep that classic 10 player style for long. They're going to change it permanently, I think, but I'm pretty sure he still has that on his GP card. But with this Player of the Week card, he is a whole player. Right midfield. He's got the usual positions. I think I've just switched his registered position from attacking mid to right mid. Of course, he's got his face gun, which he finally got a few months back now. And this is a good version of Güler. So we've had a few Player of the Week versions of Güler now. The two previous ones, I think this one's better. One of them was a centre forward though, so a different profile. And that centre forward version obviously had different positions and better awareness and finishing, as you'd expect. This is a right midfield version, but on the whole, I think this is probably the best version Player of the Week wise. The best trainable versions, there's one from a Turkey pack, which I've got, and one from some kind of legend box, I think it was. If you train those two as a right midfielder, they're a bit better on the ball, and they got better passing, but they don't have the speed of this one. But you can train both those cards and make them very similar to this one. So if you've got one of those two, you don't necessarily need this one, albeit this one has the whole player playing style. compared to his GP card. If you train his GP card as a right midfielder, this one's got more speed, more finishing, but the GP card's a bit better on the ball. You can balance out if you retrain the GP card as a right midfielder and try and balance out the attributes to match this one, it's not a million miles away, but this one is still a bit better on the whole, especially a lot stronger physically as well than his GP card. They boost him a lot there. So yeah, it's an interesting version of Güler. This, if you're a fan of this guy, I think this would be a pretty nice card to pick up. It is one of the better versions of him that we've had so far. Very nice on the ball with the dribbling, especially. Passing is decent. I think with 82 low pass, I wouldn't put him through the middle where he normally plays. He does, of course, have one touch pass and through passing, which he normally has, but 82 low pass for me with those passing skills not high enough. This is very much a wide right version of Güler, in my opinion, playing as a kind of inverted winger. Whole player playing style will be at the right midfield, but not as a wide right forward. He can still play him there. He will do fine there, I think, but certainly as a right midfielder with a whole player playing style, making those attacking runs. It's a shame his attacking runs isn't just one higher, because then he could have got to the 80 mark with the game plan boost, but it's still decent enough. He will be making those runs as a whole player into spaces, into good attacking positions. Not got crazy speed, but quicker than he normally is. He's going to be pretty nippy. The acceleration certainly is going past 90 with the game plan boost, and the balance is going to hit 90 as well. And like I say, tidy on the ball. He can pass it for a wide midfielder. The passing is good. Finishing is going to hit 80 with the game plan boost. We've got long range curler, which is an important one for an inverted winger. Pinpoint crossing. Yeah, he's got a decent cross on him. If you want to cut back onto your left foot, put an in-swinging cross in, it's going to have a decent cross on him. Outside curl, nice one to have. Likewise, soul control. What have they even changed? They've taken away... So we've lost Marseille turn and Sombrero. They've added track back and fighting spirit. Interesting. So track back, not everyone's cup of tea. Fighting spirit, nice one to have. But like I say, he's got the passing skills. The long range curler, very important one to have. Pinpoint crossing behind as well. Likewise, outside curler, soul control. So good selection of skills. Slightly different kind of profile to previous versions of Güler. And you can't train him, but with the whole player playing style as well, it's a bit different to previous versions of Güler. And I think as a right midfielder, playing as a kind of inverted winger, yes, his pace isn't explosive, but outside of that, he's got a lot of qualities. He's got good selection skills, and I think this could be a very interesting version of Güler for people who like this guy. And even if you're not that familiar with him, I think this is a good card. If you like an inverted winger, you could still play into the middle if you don't mind the low pass being a bit low. But like I said, I do think that's a bit too low. But certainly from the right flank as a left footer inverted winger, very interesting version of Güler. I think it's a pretty nice card. So there is this week's Player of the Week selection. I think it's a decent one, to be honest. Not an amazing one, but the 4-star keeper for me, I think he looks better than the 4-star. He might not be amazing, but I think he's a pretty solid keeper. Isaksen, not amazing, but usable. Likewise, your two centre-backs, Yoshida and Milenković. I don't think either of those are particularly amazing, but they're pretty solid. They're certainly usable. Mkhitaryan, for a lot of people, could be a very interesting attacking midfielder. Obviously, he's down as a centre midfielder. You could use him as a centre mid. A few ways you could use him. I think it's a pretty good card, that. El Shaarawy, pretty useful one. A few ways you could use him. I don't think he's amazing in any position, but certainly could be a very decent one. I think for a lot of people, it could be a nice card to pick up. De Roon, yeah, nothing amazing. Solid kind of DMF, CMF. I think you've got 4 players here. Your 4 highest rated ones. 4 attacking players. For a lot of people, I think any of these 4 could be a very interesting card to pick up. An interesting version of Griezmann, one of the better versions we've had. Sancho, likewise, one of the better versions we've had. I mean, you can say that about all these 4, to be honest. They're good versions of all 4 players. I'll be pretty happy, to be honest, with any of these 4. I don't really need Griezmann, actually, because I got the legend version, but certainly Sancho, Güler, Musiala. I think those 3 are going to be the targets for me when I do my free spin. And I might as well do that right now. So, here we go. Oh, it's not here. I'll have to retrieve it from my inbox. I have not come prepared. Here we go. We'll navigate through all the menus. It'll only take about half an hour. Where is it? There it is. Along with all the players I've been hoarding. Oh, we've got Manuel Neuer as well. I forgot about that. So there's something else we got today with today's live update. Free Manuel Neuer anime card. Yay. Right. Free spin time. Wish me luck. Who do they want? Güler, Musiala, Sancho. And of course I'll get the 4-star keeper. Who's he gonna be? Who's he gonna be? Milenković. Yay! So there you go. Another not particularly great spin, but I think that pack on the whole is decent enough. So yeah, cheers for watching. Hope you found that useful. Let me know who you spun. Let me know who you want to spin. How good you think the pack is. As I mentioned at the start, there will be a few pack review videos. The national team player packs. I'll be doing reviews of those. They'll be going up over the next few days, hopefully. So keep your eyes out for those. Try and do another stream soon. Did the stream on Monday. If you joined that, cheers for joining. That was a lot of fun. And keep your eyes on the Discord and the community tab for any updates about live streams and whatever else. So yeah, cheers for watching as always. Do appreciate it. Hopefully you found this useful. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. I'll see you soon.